I'm your Tuesday, Thursday show host, Skylar Angus Barker. We've got a great show coming up with some information about Art Sissel recalling his time as a professional in the 1930s and the 1940s, and our very own Huey Turlich reporting on the Hot Air Balloon Festival. But don't touch that dial because Demetric Kelly from the Hattiesburg Zoo will share some things that you don't want to miss. This is Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mississippi Beverages. Mississippi Beverages provides water, water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mississippi Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mississippi Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online.
Hello, I'm Dr. Ed Simpson, Director of the School of Media and Communication at USM. Join me on Southern Miss Radio Friday afternoons at 12:30 for a new show, News You Need. On News You Need, USM students will discuss current events and why those events are important to them. Listen in on how the future citizens of the U.S. consider news and how those news events affect their lives. Join me for News You Need, Fridays at 12:30 on Southern Miss Radio.
Welcome back to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. Now on to some USM campus news. USM Hyperion Technology Group collaborate on a recent NOAA grant. The University of Southern Mississippi's partnership with Mississippi-based Hyperion Technology Group is expected to yield significant dividends as the two research and technology titans collaborate to develop a data assembly hub for uncrewed systems. The collaboration is the product of a $2.5 million grant awarded recently to USM by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Association. NOAA officials reached out to USM in 2020 seeking new ideas to handle the rapidly growing data produced by the agency's uncrewed systems, which are autonomous or remotely operated vehicles that collect environmental data. That inquiry led to a successful pilot project which provided the foundation for the grant. Dr. Henry Jones, Director of Research Development and Scientific Entrepreneurship at USM, goes on to say, when we were first getting our heads around that enormous data size NOAA would be handling, we looked for lessons already learned elsewhere. We are aware that the Department of Defense had tackled similar data challenges in the global war on terror, and fortunately, we identified Hyperion Technology Group, who could bring in that expertise. In Hattiesburg news, local DJ donates supplies to Hub City School. Marcus Carr came to Grace Christian Elementary in Hattiesburg with a surprise for the students. Carr, better known as DJ Cujo, donated hundreds of backpacks, notebooks, and other supplies to the school. Marcus Carr goes on to say, being able to donate, being able to give, that's where your blessings come from. Assistant Principal James Longmire goes on to say, it helps out tremendously because these are resources that we use on a daily basis. Paper and pencils are always needed here at school. In Mississippi news, residents protest as only bank in Mississippi town set to close. Bank Plus is the only bank that serves the people in Pickens, Mississippi, and it's scheduled to close on December 15th. Residents say that if that happens, they'll have to travel more than 20 miles to the nearest bank. Before the rally, dozens of people packed out of the MLK Center, voicing concerns on why they feel the bank should not close. I got 3 business accounts there, said one citizen. If the bank leaves, I'm going to have to transfer my money all the way to Durant of Canton, and that's going to cause a lot of hardships on me. The bank has been an anchor for the town since the year 2000. Mayor Paulette Moore says she was told the bank was closing because it's not generating enough revenue. Mayor Moore goes on to say, the thing is that they made this decision without contacting me. So if you make a decision as something as huge as closing the bank, our only financial institution, and you do not contact the mayor, that's not a good thing. In national news, SAG-AFTRA to resume negotiations with Hollywood studios next week. Hollywood's striking actors in the entertainment industry's top studios are heading back to the bargaining table. The union that represents thousands of screen actors and the trade association that bargains on behalf of entertainment companies will resume negotiations over a new contract on Monday. The two groups said in a joint statement Wednesday night. The announcement comes 3 days after the Writers Guild of America, a union that represents thousands of film and television scribes, reached an agreement on a new 3-year contract with the AMPTP, bringing a close to a strike that started May 2nd. The writers' strike officially ended just after midnight Wednesday. The thousands of film and television performers represented by SAG-AFTRA have been on the picket line since July 14th, 75 days ago. We'll be right back with sports and weather after a word from our sponsors.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mr. Sippy Beverages. Mr. Sippy Beverages provides water, water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mr. Sippy Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mr. Sippy Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online. Sponsorship comes from American Graphics. Located at 8 Commercial Warehouse Drive in Hattiesburg, American Graphics provides custom screen printing and embroidery. They can be reached by phone at 601-602-2277, and the website is goamericangraphics.com. American Graphics, printing at its finest.
Southern Miss Radio. Now on for your sports. Sunbelt announces academic awards for 2022-2023 school year. The Sunbelt Conference announced the commissioner's list and academic honor roll for the 2022-2023 school year on Wednesday afternoon. Those recognized included 108 Southern Miss student athletes on the commissioner's list and 70 student athletes on the academic honor roll. In addition, 11 student athletes earned the 1A FAR Academic Excellence Award. Sunbelt Conference Commissioner Keith Gill goes on to say, "We celebrate the academic achievements of these remarkable student athletes. We're extremely proud of their ability to shine at academics while competing in their sports at the highest level." Year 20 of the McNellis era begins at Reed Green Coliseum. One day or day one? This was 20th year head coach Joy Lee McNellis's question to her team on the first day of practice for the 2023-2024 season. One day implies that good things may come to those who wait, earning their reward one day. But McNellis and her team look to seize the first day and every day after and make it their own. This attitude helped the 2022 and 2023 Lady Eagles run off 5 straight wins to close out the regular season of Southern Miss's first regular season conference title since 1993. Now, McNellis looks to use the same approach she has in each of her 19 prior years in the Hub City, although this time the Lady Eagles have a target on their backs. For now, McNellis believes her team's first full practice together was a success. McNellis goes on to say, "Today I felt that we had good energy. We did a lot of teaching today because we have 6 newcomers. We intentionally set up one team to be Dom's team, which was going to be the tougher team, with the most newcomers so that she could respond in a leadership role. Eventually, she did that. She struggled with it early, and eventually we saw her push through that, which is huge." To keep up with all the Golden Eagles sports activities, head on over to southernmiss.com. Now on to your weather. Drier, low humidity air is on the way. It's just going to take some time to filter in. That means today will still be on the humid side of things, but will be ever so slightly drier. That'll get rid of the light to patchy fog we started the week off with and eventually get rid of the cloud cover as drier air rushes in. So, for today, expect one of the coolest we've had in recent weeks. It's expected to be a high of 88 degrees in the central Pine Belt, thanks mainly due to the early morning easterly cloud cover. It'll end up cloudier than yesterday, but the rest of the weekend, and all of next week looks clear. That's not going to help with our drought conditions at all, likely make them worse, in fact, but it will be quite beautiful. Up next, we have Art Sissel recalling his time as a professional in the 1930s and 1940s. Check it out.
This is Mississippi Moments, produced by the Center for Oral History and Cultural Heritage at the University of Southern Mississippi and supported by the Mississippi Humanities Council. I'm Bill Ellison. Art Sissel became a professional drummer in St. Louis during the big band era. He remembers the St. Louis music scene of the 1930s and 40s.
In St. Louis, it's a larger area, a larger city, and you had your local groups, but back in those days, you had about 4 or 5 ballrooms. They would bring in the big name bands, and every night of the week, you'd see 2,000 and 3,000 people in each one of those ballrooms, not just one, but in each one of those ballrooms. In addition to that, all of the major hotels would have the big bands and playing in their supper clubs, and you'd have hundreds and hundreds of people there. And then the theaters. You'd have a stage show along with your movies. So you'd have Glenn Miller, you'd have Benny Goodman, Bing Crosby would come in, Bob Crosby and his band. They would be on the stage along with the movies. And this was even during the Depression. People still went out. Like I was telling you, the theater, you could go for 35 cents, you could see 2 pictures and maybe Bing Crosby and Tommy Dorsey on the stage.
To hear more, visit MississippiMoments.org or just like us on Facebook. Mississippi Moments is supported by the Mississippi Humanities Council. The humanities are for everyone.
That was Art Sissel. Coming up, we've got a special guest that you don't want to miss.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mr. Sippy Beverages. Mr. Sippy Beverages provides water, water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mr. Sippy Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mr. Sippy Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online.
Put a frog in boiling water and it'll jump right out. But put a frog in cool water and slowly heat it up, that frog will boil. As veterans, we tell ourselves the lie that we can handle anything. We let the water boil. You are not a frog. If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach. Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. Now, please give a warm Golden Eagle welcome to Demetric Kelly. Hey, how are you?
Good morning. How are you? Well, good afternoon, I guess. It's right afternoon. So.
I'm doing pretty okay. So, sorry, I was about to ask you the same question again. It's been a long, long day and a long week, and I'm sure that's the same for everyone.
For sure.
But for anyone who doesn't know you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, so my name is Demetric Kelly. I am the Director of Guest Services and Retail for the Hattiesburg Zoo here in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. And I am here today to kind of give you all some updates on some upcoming events, some things to do if you don't have any plans over the next few weeks, specifically tomorrow, as well as we go into October for our Halloween events.
Yeah, awesome. It's very exciting, and I know that recently I went to the Hattiesburg Zoo, and that was already a blast. But these events that I've already seen, it's already looking like it's even going to surpass that. But before we get on to that, just a quick question for anyone that doesn't know. How long have you been part of the Hattiesburg Zoo?
So originally, I began my career with the Hattiesburg Convention Commission, which oversees the operations of the zoo, in 2013. And so I began managing at the zoo in 2016. So I've been with the company for about 10 years, managing the guest services staff, attractions, retail, special events, all things zoo. So yes.
Well, that's amazing. And just as a fun little question before we go into these very even exciting events, what would you say is your favorite part of the zoo?
My favorite part of the zoo is having the opportunity to create exceptional experiences for our guests.
Right.
As we look towards the future and kind of where we are now, social media, making memories, things of that nature are very important to families. So we see a lot of families come to the zoo to create memories. There's photos are going to live pretty much forever and at some point. So it's great to be a part of building those memories and creating those experiences and honestly creating something for the state of Mississippi. We're a premier attraction here, and we enjoy what we do.
100%. And that's so exciting to be able to craft these memories, because I know that a lot of children do visit the zoo all the time, but even the adults and the parents and anyone that steps in, I remember visually seeing their face light up,
Yes.
seeing all the different exhibits and seeing just how care is taken for these animals.
Yes, there's a lot of work that goes into operating the zoo,
Yeah.
from the animal care staff, from the guest services department, from our maintenance teams, from marketing.
Right.
So it's so many departments, accounting, that plays a huge role in our success. And as well as we want to continue to create things for other guests to come. Our target audience are always those kids who can't drive.
Right.
So we want to make sure that we have something for those who can drive them to the zoo, as
100%.
well as those who may not have been to a zoo.
Right.
So such as our college students who are here in town.
Yeah.
So we like to create small things or different type of events for people to come and experience the zoo outside of its normal environment, which is Tuesday through Sunday, 10 to 4,
Right.
when all the kids and their families are there being pretty active.
Right. But with an event that's actually coming tomorrow,
Yes.
this is not for the little kids.
It
This
is not.
for the big kids.
It is.
All right. Rum Under the Sun. What's that all about?
So Rum Under the Sun is actually one of our new after-hours events that we premiered last year, which has a Caribbean theme. We have several events throughout the year, and we love to theme food and drinks.
Yeah.
I think we've kind of found our niche there. So Rum Under the Sun is a Caribbean-themed event where we feature rum and different types of Caribbean foods.
Yeah.
But this year, also a little spin to it is we are going to honor Jimmy Buffett at this year's Rum Under the Sun. So we're going to add margaritas to the line of drinks that you can have there, as well as some themed scavenger hunts,
Yeah.
such as lost flip-flops,
Yeah.
just really cool things that kind of pay homage to Jimmy Buffett. So that's going to be exciting for us to do this year for all the guests. So the event is going to be tomorrow night, Friday, September 29th, 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. Gates will open at 6:30. You can purchase tickets in advance on the zoo's website. So they are 15 in advance and then
Right.
20 at the gate. But there's going to be some great music, very festive music. We are hoping that people come in their attire,
Yeah.
linen, flower shirts, whatever makes you comfortable. And it's a really, really nice night at the zoo. And seeing the zoo after hours
Yeah.
without kids is a different place.
Absolutely.
And it's a very beautiful, beautiful environment to have it experience it.
Yeah. What a lovely tribute to Mr. Buffett.
Yes, he is actually, everyone in Hattiesburg loves Jimmy Buffett.
100%.
Southern Miss, he actually played at our other facility, the Sanger Theater,
Wow.
a few years ago. So that's one thing that we felt would be, commendable for us to do, and just give some other people a chance to come out. There's going to be music playing throughout the night from Jimmy Buffett. So we're hoping everyone comes out tomorrow night, have a great time,
Yeah.
have some great food. We'll also have a cigar bar,
Ooh.
as well as some rum flights. So just different things for everyone to take and
Yeah.
take a take at. So
That's awesome, and that sounds already so exciting. And I'm sure a lot of like college students that, of course, are of age.
yes, of age. So it's 21 and older. So if you are not of age, you will not be allowed admission. So again, it's best if you get those tickets in advance,
Right.
and prevent having to do that at the gate.
100%, 100%. And I know that you're all about like being able to make these opportunities and make these memories for these people. So with Rum Under the Sun, what events are you excited for people to experience?
This is actually a really new one for me. It's actually something that we created last year. So
Right.
it's kind of my new event as a baby right
Yeah.
now. And with the future plans and development with Serengeti Springs, we're going to be able to create more events and more experiences for all the guests. But coming soon, I'm a Christmas guy. I love the holidays.
Yeah.
Is our annual Lights of the Wild event, which always gives me a little bit more of excitement.
Yeah.
Cooler temperatures, a lot of lights and families, and festive food. So
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that event for sure.
Absolutely, and that's already I love the Christmas spirit.
Yeah,
I
and if
love
you've never
being able-
experienced Lights of the Wild, it is something that you won't see anywhere unless you travel far away. But it's the only
100%.
show of its kind in Mississippi. So.
100%. And September is fast closing, and we've
Yes.
got October coming up, which is coming with the Zoo Boo.
Yes, so
can you tell us about
October
that?
is, we just released dates for Zubu, which is going to be October 20th through the 30th, 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. each night. Tickets for Zubu are on sale now on the website as well. And so Zubu is our annual Halloween event. It kicks off our event season at the zoo. It's a very well attended event, so we do encourage guests to get those tickets in advance, get them early because they sell out pretty quickly. And it's going to be the same. More decor as always, more cool things for kids to experience, animal shows, face painting, a ton of different activities, a ton of different types of food. So we are always excited about Zubu.
And is there any like fun activities or fun events specifically that is coming to Zubu that anyone might be interested in?
So each year we do host animal shows where they're actually kind of more of a performance type of a show. It's
Interesting.
typically themed. One year it was had a Harry Potter theme. So we get really creative with our events. We allow the staff to get involved. We have internally competitions on areas throughout the zoo with decor. And so we have jump houses that's going to be included with their admission. The Bug Cup Playground is always a hit. So yeah, it's always something different that we're going to do for these events. Sometimes we never know what we're going to do until we get there. The electric train is going to be going. So that's exciting for a lot of guests who haven't experienced the zoo's electric train. So yeah, great stuff.
That's amazing. And I know that we are running a little bit out of time, but I do want to talk about one thing because it's looking like love might be in the air for one of your howler monkeys, Frankie. Can you tell us about that?
We recently welcomed a new howler monkey to the Hattiesburg Zoo. So we're hoping it's going to be a match made in heaven. They are our animal care staff. They're working diligently on the introductions and making sure that everyone's going to be happy with the exhibit, as well as making sure the animals are compatible with one another. And their well-being is definitely top of our priority. So I guess we'll be able to see them as they kind of work through the introductory phase.
Yeah. And I know that they were technically able to meet with like this zoo harmony thing.
Yes. So we like to have fun with our social media
100%.
pages. So that's what it is. It's kind of the dating app for animals.
100%. And I was reading that a little bit before the show. And if anyone that is listening, you've got to check out the little Zoo Harmony post
It's
and
a pretty funny
read
post.
over it. It is hilarious. So with this like new monkey being able to potentially join with Frankie, is that available to see now, or when can we potentially see that?
As we work through introductions, sometimes you may be on site at the zoo and you can see our animal care staff working with the animals to bring them on and off exhibit. So at some point they'll be on exhibit the entire day, but right now they're still working on the introductory phases.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Dimitri Kelly, for
problem.
coming on today and providing a voice for our Eagles. And for anyone interested that is 21 or above, stop by the Hattiesburg Zoo for Rum Under the Sun. That's Rum Under the Sun at the Hattiesburg Zoo tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Advance tickets are $15 and $20 at the gate only if they're available. Thank you so much for stopping on by. Coming up, we've got our very own Huey Turlich reporting on the Rise Hot Air Balloon Festival. Check it out.
One of the nonprofit organizations, Rise from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, held its 2023 Hot Air Balloon Festival. The Rise organization is here to help the community, and the group's executive director, Ms. Linda Narnell, shared the goals and missions of the organization.
Rise is all about helping, offering a hand up for people in need. We try and strive to help them rise to self-sufficiency.
The community came out to enjoy a day in the sun.
Things are heating up here in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. I am at the Forest County Multipurpose Center, where Rise, a nonprofit organization, has put on their second annual Hot Air Balloon Festival. The festival invited the community out for a night full of food truck vendors, hot air balloons, and live music.
The social media director told us a little more on the event.
So this is the 2023 Rise Hattiesburg Hot Air Balloon Festival. And so it's located at the Forest County Multipurpose Center. And so it's a fundraiser to support Rise, so the nonprofit organization known as Rise. And so it's just to raise money for Rise. So
For more information about Rise, you can visit them on their website at www.risenonprofit.org.
This is Huey Turlich reporting for SM2 News.
Thank you, Huey, and thank you for listening to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. Huge thanks to our audio engineer, Matthew Lee, and Alina Pipoletsky, our video producer, for keeping this bird flying. Big shout out to our assistant producer, Huey Turlich, as well as executive producer, Miss Whitney Howard, our program director, Shania Williams, and our GM, Dr. Wilbur Martin. I'm your Tuesday, Thursday show host, Skylar Angus Barker. Stay golden, Eagles.